Hello, so my name is Mariana Medina. I am a student at Chattahoochee Technical College, and I am taking the class Health and Nutrition and Safety, ECCE 1105 this year, and it is April 23rd, 2025. And today we're going to be talking about safety topics, and as far as our health as nutrition for safety. And I'm going to be talking about three main ideas, which include sodium, sugars, sodium meaning salt, and for what what whole foods and processed foods, um, the differences, and talk a little bit more about the labels and what the labels include, a little bit of that. So today I am going to be talking in specific. I'm going to be referencing our chapter books, in specific chapters 12 and 13 for the book of Health, Nutrition, and Safety for Young Children. And it was published in 2024. And I'm also going to be speaking about the YouTube video, and it's called, and you can find it in YouTube, Label 101, Label Reading 101, and it is uploaded by Mr. Doug Reid, and you can find that in YouTube and look at it if you are interested into hearing more about this topic. So today's topic, let's start with the sugar. And did you know that there are probably more now, 40 different names for sugars? And regular sugar, you will have sugar, or you will have the biggest one, high fructose corn syrup. You have different syrups, malt, and all kinds of stuff. And all of these are just sugars. And it is recommended to have maximum 6 teaspoons up to 12 at the most for sugar. And this is just natural sugars pretty much. And when you think about it, you buy something at the store like cereal and you have sugar, but then you also have included and you also have added, and it's like they have different types of grams of the amount they put in it. And I think just a bowl of cereal is even halfway of our maximum intake, and that would just be literally like the amount that we should be consuming. And also, I do want to mention that children under 2 years old should not be having any added sugars at all in their diet. Just normal sugars, such as milk, bread, and this type of just sugars, but nothing added. And of course, we should not be adding any in their diets. I do want to point that out, but they add up really fast. All the sugars add up really fast, and then all the sugars that we do take, it will eventually turn to fat. All the sugar will just turn into fat in our bodies, and it's kind of upsetting because we try to eat healthy, like a salad, and then we put dressing on it, and there's probably a lot of sugar in that dressing that we do consume, and that salad will turn to a dessert really quick with all these dressings. So it is a little bit frustrating. And I want to talk about salt or sodium, that you'll see that on the label. And sodium, it's only considered, the maximum recommended we should have is only about 1 teaspoon. And when you think about it, I mean, just in it of itself, just one slice of pizza, for example, pepperoni cheese pizza, there's a lot of sodium. There's a lot of salt in the pepperoni, maybe in the marinara sauce, in the cheese, in the bread, and maybe you have like dressings like ranch. I mean, not to mention the sodium on your drinks. all of this, we are just eating all this salt, and we should not be consuming no more than that. And it's easier, it's really easy to get caught up consuming so much sodium whenever you buy processed foods that are in a they have a label that are packaged. It's just really fast to have more than the recommended amount of sugar, I mean salt. Now I want to talk about the last point, which it was about labeling and whole foods versus processed foods. And honestly, I mean, it's really easy. Wholesome foods, these are the foods that do not have a label, that are vegetables, fruits, and meats and chickens and all these good things. And all these things, they're just natural. They have natural sugars, they have natural vitamins and minerals. And then you have the processed foods. These are like generically made processed foods that are pretty much in a box, and they have a label, and they have your your fat, your fat, your saturated fat, your mono fat, and then you have your sodium, your sugars, and all these things in the bottom, which is like they list the ingredients. And these foods are not all good, because they are genetically made to taste really good. And if you notice in the ingredients in your food or cereal, whatever, for example, if you're having cereal, you have the names that are like really hard to pronounce. Chances are pretty high that those are additives, and those additives are pretty much for the food to taste really good, and those additives are not necessarily good for you. And so watch out and look for those names. And if you have sugar that are in the, for example, ingredients, the first names are the main ingredients. If the first three are sugar, or the last one is three, like whatever, high fructose corn syrup, that is really high in sugar, and your dressing, for example, just made your salad into a dessert. And when I found that out, honestly, sometimes I eat a beautiful salad, and my personal favorite is French or Caesar, and that has a lot of salt. And it was really upsetting to find out I just ruined my salad. And a lot of the children's snacks have these things. A lot of the children's, candies, for example, have way too much. And they have the labels for the gummies and all that thing. We should be paying attention to the sugar and the salt and all this additives. And we should be having healthy fats, healthy fats from plants and seeds. Not so healthy are the animals, but the really bad ones is the trans fats. We should not have any of that in our diet at all, for adults and children. So that concludes my video, and you should definitely watch that video, Label Reading 101 by Reid. It's very informative, and it's really good to show our children so they can have a good perspective and awareness of what is good food, and not so healthy and healthy, and just kind of expose them to that vocabulary as well, so they can have a good understanding of what is wholesome eating, and what is processed foods. We should be talking about these things a little bit more and educating our children when it comes to food. So anyway, I hope we enjoy this video, and until the next time, take care.